Hi guys, welcome to another video. If you are new here, thanks so much for my returning subscribers. I really appreciate you. Thanks again so much. I don't take it for granted that you watch my videos because I know there are a lot of videos you could watch out there, so I don't take it for granted. Thanks very much. So today I thought I'll share something with you. For people who have watched my past videos, I think you know I am a Kenyan. This is my Kenyan passport. Don't worry, I just checked. It expired on 1st September 2010. So in September, it will be 10 years since I don't have a Kenyan passport, which is really a long time. And it's crazy to think that I've tried so much to renew my expired passport, but they always have a reason not to give me a new passport. And I just don't have time when I'm in Kenya to follow up on the same thing. It just gets boring. It gets, I don't know, it gets tiring. So for that reason, for the last 20 years exactly, I've been using this. I use my Swiss passport wherever I travel. And before my Kenyan passport expired, I used it only to travel to Kenya. And that was yeah, just like that, so that I could have more time in Kenya to stay as long as I wanted and not to worry about a visa or anything. But apart from that, I've always traveled with my Swiss passport. So I thought I will look at some advantages why I choose to travel with my Swiss passport. With the Swiss passport, I mostly don't have to worry about a visa. I can go in most countries without needing a visa. And I will give you 2 or 3 examples. The first time I visited Egypt was, I don't know, I think it was in the year 2000. Then I went to the Egyptian embassy, made a queue, and they still closed even before I could reach there. So it was 4 hours spent for nothing because it was 2 hours one way. Another time I wanted to go to Turkey. It was still the same thing. When I wanted to go to German, they even asked how I was going to German from here, from Switzerland. I even had to tell them how I was going to finance my travel there. When I went to the Czech Republic, I had to show the finances that I could pay for my expenses there. When I went to the United States, I'm grateful they gave me a very long visa, but still I needed to show quite a lot of money to justify that I could spend, because I wanted to spend almost a year. So I had to show that I could pay for my travel all this time. But and this went on for so many different countries. But since I have my Swiss passport, I don't have to show anyone anything. It's interesting. Recently, I was in Turkey, and since I had already paid all inclusive, so I really didn't need any money anyway, apart from maybe for some shopping and things like that. But you are there, nobody cares if you have money or not, and nobody even asks you. Nobody asks how you will finance your travel there. I was in Egypt in April. nobody cares. I had also already paid for my hotel, all inclusive. So when I went to Egypt, I really didn't have okay, I had money in my account and all that, but I didn't have a lot of money, and nobody cares. Nobody asks you if you can pay for your expenses and all that. So I think I'm really okay traveling with my Swiss passport, and I wouldn't change it for anything, because really it's like if I want to go to a place today, I don't have to think, oh, what do I do if they ask me about the finances? They don't care. Just showing them, just showing this, the red passport is more or less almost enough, is more or less almost a guarantee that you will be able to pay for your expenses there. So, but I will tell you one or two things which have happened during some of my travels that make me so proud to be a Swiss, that make me know that I'm in the right place. Not that I don't know. I know this very well, and I'm thankful every day. I'm thankful for my, I don't know, I'm just thankful. But I will tell you two experiences. There was a time I was in a, I don't know what they call this place where they have the gondola. I was in Venice. Yeah, Venice. I was in Venice, Italy. Then I don't know what happened, but um, I was I was already in the airport, but I missed my flight. I don't know how it happened. I had checked in and all that, but I still missed my flight. So I didn't want to stay there longer. So there was a very late flight. So I took the late flight and arrived in Basel, which is almost 2 hours from my place. So when I arrived in Basel late at night, I passed the customs. I gave them my passport, and since this was just, I was just there for 4 or 5 days, so I didn't have a big suitcase. I just had a carry-on. So when I passed the customs, I gave them my passport, and there was an African guy behind me. I didn't know him. Then when I crossed the customs, they just took this man's passport and gave it to me with my passport. Then I said, no, we are not together. And the immigration officer just said, no, it's okay, just take it. Then I said, no, we are not together, I'm not taking it. So he just pushed that man's passport in my hand with my passport, and I really didn't know what to do. So I just took it, passed, and I gave it to this man. Because when we were on the line, he was just behind me. So this immigration officer thought that we were together. So I passed the customs, and it was very late. And I really had to get the bus and later to get the last train to get me home. So I didn't want to stay there in the airport arguing and all that. So I just passed, gave the guy his passport, and continued my way. Then when I reached home, something just made a click in my brain, and I was angry. How could this immigration officer think that we are together and give me this stranger's passport? Even when I said, I don't know him, we are not together, he still insisted and just pressed it on my hands. Then I thought, what about if something was wrong? What about if this man had something illegal? And for the first time, I realized I could have been going to prison for a long time for something I did not know, something belonging to a total stranger. And I was mad. I wanted to get up in the morning and go back there, but I realized it wouldn't bring much. Then I wrote a complaint letter because I felt I was really not exactly mistreated, but in a way also mistreated. This customs officer didn't want to listen to me. He didn't want to understand my reasoning. He didn't want to accept that I didn't know this man or we are not together. And he just forced me to take this man's paper. So I felt I was put in danger. And I wrote a complaint letter, and I explained very well how things happened because I really wanted them to find the man who did this. I really wanted them to find the customs officer who did this, and they did. They wrote me a letter. They knew who it was, and he apologized, and I was okay. But it's been some years now. It's about, I don't know how long it is, but it's been a while. But this has really stayed on my mind because we always hear of people who got arrested in the airport, smuggling this or that. Then I thought, what about if this man was getting arrested? Then I was going to be arrested with him for something I didn't know. I didn't know this man. And but I'm very grateful everything worked. Okay, that's that. The other time, that was 2019, I went to Kenya, and things just started going wrong before I left here. While I was in Zurich, the flight got totally delayed because of the weather. Then by the time I reached Amsterdam, I was to be flying from there with the Kenya Airways. By the time I reached Amsterdam, my flight was already long gone because I think I reached Amsterdam 2 hours later than I was. 2 hours after my flight had taken off, my connecting flight to Kenya. So things just went wrong from here. And then while I was in Amsterdam, I really had to rush. There was no time to waste. It was like immediately, now go take this flight. The only thing I managed to do was make a quick call to my sister and say, what did I say? Because she was to pick me from the airport. So I just said, please don't come. No, she was coming anyway, but some people were coming to pick me from Kisumu airport because I do fly to Nairobi. Then from Nairobi, I do take local flights to Kisumu. So I just made a quick call home and I said, please don't come to Kisumu the next day. I missed my flight, which was just crazy. Somebody missing flight and you are in the airport. Anyway, that was that. Then when I reached Kenya again, I just had issues. Nothing was going. Then a day before I was to come back, something happened and I had to cancel my coming back. Then I had to call my boss and explain. And immediately I called my boss. He called to the Swiss embassy in Kenya. And within 1 hour, the Swiss embassy had called me. Now, don't forget, I'm in Kenya. I'm with my family. I'm a Kenyan, but still, the Swiss embassy did not look at this. They looked at me as a Swiss. They looked at me as a Swiss in a foreign country who has a problem. And they contacted me within 1 hour of me calling my boss. And oh God, I was so grateful, and I thought, oh God, I thank you. God, I thank you for the Swiss passport. I thank you for being a Swiss citizen. I mean, people in Kenya or people with Kenyan passport may go abroad, have a problem, and 6 months later, they're still suffering in that country. Nobody cares. The Kenya embassy doesn't look at them. But I had a problem. I'm in Kenya. I'm with my family. But within 1 hour, the Swiss embassy had called me to tell me how to get there. They had already arranged that I didn't have to make a queue. I didn't have to stop at the gate man. They had even arranged, because I don't exactly remember the day, but they were supposed to be closing in the afternoon, or they're always closed in the afternoon. But they were already there waiting for me so that they could issue me an emergency travel passport. And this is something nobody can explain to you. It's beyond words. It's beyond. I thought, oh, I could be happy if Kenya embassy tried to help me within 1 month. And the Swiss embassy were ready with the solution, with the help. They were ready to get me home immediately, the same day or the next day. And I thought, God, am I glad to be a Swiss citizen. So, one way or the other, the way I look at it, I'm so proud to be a Swiss. As I have always said, I will always be the foreigner. I will always be the black woman when I get my face out there. But on this day, I realized the Swiss government, the Swiss embassy did not look at me as the black woman. They did not look at me as a foreign woman. Or, yeah, they just looked at me like, she's a Swiss, she's in a foreign country, she have a problem, and we have to help her immediately. And I'm so proud of this. Even without that, this is my home, and I'm so proud of it. I wouldn't change it for, I don't know. I'm proud. I'm happy here. This is my home, and really, I've heard from people. Like, I talked to a friend once who told me something very funny. He had to be in France and he didn't have the money. He knew he did not have the money. So when he reached the, what do they call it? Immigration, he really had to borrow money, cash money, so that he could show the immigration. And he told me that there was already somebody there waiting to pick that money immediately on the spot. So he didn't even leave the airport with the money. He just had to show it to the immigration, and then for them to let him pass, enter France, and then give this money back right away. I find that with a Swiss passport, I don't have to do all this. When I was traveling with the Kenyan passport, there were many times the finances came into questions. Sorry, I'm really feeling hot. Anybody who knows, Europe is right now seriously hot. We have our summer, and the summers in Europe are, I do say the summers in Europe are more hot than the summers in Africa, and it's baking hot right now. And I don't have an air condition. I just have a small table fan, which I can't put on now because it will just be making noise everywhere. but that's so, excuse me, but it's really hot. So I always had to prove that I had the money to get a visa to go places. But since I have my Swiss passport, I've just been, how can I say, any place I've wanted to go, I've gone. And at no place ever has anyone ever asked if I have the finances. Nobody has ever asked if I have 50 franc with me or if I have 5,000 with me. Nobody has ever wanted asked. In most places with the Swiss passport, I don't need a visa. But even in the few places that I need a visa, no one has ever asked if I have the finances. So that's why I'm really happy. And I like traveling. I like to go places when I can. So with a Kenyan passport, I found it limiting. You may want to go to a place, then they can deny you that visa without a reason, just because, or they can ask you for finances. I remember the the first time I went to the US with my Kenyan passport, and remember I've had my Swiss passport for over 20 years. I've been a Swiss citizen for over 20 years. So it means the first time I went to the United States was more than 20 years ago. I still had my Kenyan passport, and I wanted a longer period visa, but I'm not even going to mention the amount they insisted I have before they could give me the visa. Luckily, I had the finances to reach that amount they wanted, but it was just crazy amount. It could have been totally impossible if I had to show that kind of money. But luckily, my ex-husband had the finances to for me to show that kind of money. But with the Swiss passport, nobody has ever, it doesn't matter where, nobody has ever asked if I have 10 cents or how I will finance my travel or anything. It just doesn't matter. But having said that, I always have the finances when I go to any country. I always calculate I can't be exact, but I know I need about this amount. And I always make sure that the flight is paid anyway. Return, I always buy return ticket. Then I always make sure my hotel is also paid. Then I calculate my daily expenses. Then I always make sure I have about let's say 200 to 400 Swiss franc just for emergency. But still, nobody has ever asked if I have the finances to finance my travel while I'm there or anything. So I'm really happy to travel with my Swiss passport. There have been times like now when I wanted to go to Kenya and I know I need a visa, then I feel disappointed, but I'll keep traveling with my Swiss passport. It's the right thing to do. And from my 2019 experience that I just told you about, I know that if I went to, I don't know where, if I went to a place and I had a problem, I know the Swiss government will be there immediately to help me. Yet, I also know for a fact, if I went to Uganda today or to Tanzania and I had a problem, maybe I'll need 7 months before the Kenya government can help me. So I'm just happy with my Swiss passport, and I'm not changing it for anything. If I need to take a visa to go to Kenya, that's okay with me. But um, I'm happy to travel with my Swiss passport. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate your time. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Talk soon.